Good evening, and you're very welcome to Kilmallock, Fitzgerald Park here, and it is the Whitebox Properties Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. It is a meeting of the county champions Doon and Ballybrown here this evening. Delighted to say that James Ryan has joined me for this one, and he will be on co-commentary duty very, very shortly for this one. James, a bit of a breeze here in Kilmallock, both sides going through their paces. Both sides will be well aware that a victory this evening will put them into the knockout stages with a game to spare, so that is the objective for both teams here this evening.
Yeah, I think that's a massive point you have to make, and Tom, I think I always like to look at the psychology coming into the game as well. I think Ballybrown's psychology, I think the mood in the dressing room will be very positive after beating obviously their parish rivals, Patrickswell, in the last game. Always a sticky one for either team, playing your neighbours, and Doon in with the two draws. Obviously Kilmallock could have beaten them the last time, did good and bad parts, but they might have been maybe expecting to win that. So as you say, the nugget for both teams is a win tonight, but I think it's a great opportunity for both teams to see where they're at. We're in round 4 now, and obviously Doon with the two draws, and Ballybrown have only lost in the Piershig and they've 2 wins with that, so it's going to be very, very interesting, and we're up for a good game tonight.
Yeah, Ballybrown, I suppose a huge weight lifted 34 years since they beat their rivals Patrickswell. They probably played a little bit like a team that hadn't jumped that fence. They've done it now. There's a bit of a monkey off the back. They'll know that a hand or 3 points behind them in terms of that's the only team that can catch them for top 4 now, so they can play with, I suppose, a certain amount of freedom here this evening.
No, they can play with massive freedom, and I think Ballybrown have been very unlucky over the years. It's not that long ago where they nearly beat Kilmallock in a quarter final, and Kilmallock actually went down and won the county that year, and they've been knocking on the door a few times and never got to rub the green. So they look at the pre-championship season this year in the group stage, it's going well for them. I think they're in bonus territory. I think I wouldn't say they're complacent or anything, but I think the mood in the dressing room is that the pressure is off, the monkey's off the back, kind of speak, and they can go at it. They can play. It's funny, they're playing the county champions here tonight, but they can actually go out and play with a bit of freedom. They have a little bit of wriggle room there, and they know it if they have a performance tonight, but I think the mood is positive in Ballybrown at the moment.
Now Doon, obviously, I suppose we're talking about players. Adam English is a big man for them. I think 127 in the championship so far. Hadn't scored from playing the first game, a couple of points the second day, 4 points in Knocklang the last day. Started to show what he's all about. Some big scores. He himself and Aidan O'Connor will know each other very well. They would have played 20s together, would have played obviously this year with Limerick together. A fair ding-dong battle between them, and if Adam's starting to come right for Doon, I think a few more will come along beside him.
Yeah, look, the biggest advantage all these stats teams, managements have as well is these teams are being obviously streamed as well as looking at the scores going to the matches, so they've never been analysed as much, and you don't need all that stuff to know that Adam English is a dangerous player. But as you said, he was outstanding the last day against Kilmallock. Even at the highlights there, some of the scores he scored, so look, they'll be obviously targeting him, but Adam English, Dara Donovan, and a lot of the Doon players are going very well. So look, the problem with playing the likes of Doon or the Piershigs, that maybe the top teams in this Kilmallock, is they have a lot of stars, a lot of fellas to watch. So I think it's more Ballybrown be looking within their own dressing room, trying to keep the momentum high. Obviously they'll be trying to get their own tactics right, and obviously keeping an eye on Adam English, who was their main threat the last time.
Okay, well, we're building up for throw-in here. Throw-in is at 6:15. We'll be back with team news shortly. It is the first meeting between these sides since 2019.
Grace Park, Dublin Road, Enfield, County Meath. Coming soon. An exclusive development of large 2 and 3 bedroom family homes. Register at www.graceparkenfield.ie. Developer ATG Properties, Enfield Limited.
O'Sullivan Centre, Clarina, your one-stop shop. From Rooster's Peri Peri to Caramico Pizza, Centre Clarina satisfies every craving. Pamper your pooch at our wash and wag station, or grab a coffee at the Creamery Cafe and relax in our seating area. Experience it all at Centre Clarina.
Yeah.
You're very welcome back to Fitzgerald Park here in Kilmallock. We are almost set for throw-in, so we're going to take a look at the starting teams for both sides. A couple of changes on both sides, and we'll start with Ballybrown wearing their familiar white and green jerseys. It is Cian Hederman in goals, Ned Quinn, and Colin Coughlin and Keith Punch make up the full back line. Mikey Gavin is one wing, while James Coughlin is the other. Incoming into the side is David Hartnett wearing 19, with Josh Adams missing out through injury. At midfield, Killian Gavin is joined by number 20 Lee Doolan, with David Hall missing out also through injury. Ross Kenny, Aidan O'Connor and Ross Griffin are the half forward lines. The inside line sees Barry Adams, Brian Griffin and Mikey Kiley. Kevin Lally, the Galway native, is the manager for this one. We'll quickly flick and have a look at the Doon team. They show one change to the side, which Mikey O'Brien coming in for Owen Fitzgibbon at right corner back. So number 17 Mikey O'Brien starts. They see Dara Stapleton in goals, O'Brien, Hayes, Tommy Hayes and Cian O'Donovan the full back line. Chris Thomas, Barry Murphy, Richie English, Darragh O'Donovan, Jack Ryan, Garrett Thomas, Adam English, Eddie Stokes. The inside line, Donald Coughlin, Kevin Maher and Pat Ryan. We are underway, and immediately Ballybrown go in search of a first attack, as Barry Adams is the target for the initial delivery, and chance for Richie English to tidy it up. Pat Ryan back there, but met by Mikey Kiley, and it bounces off him, and ball immediately back into play as Darragh O'Donovan gets on it. This game being brought to you in association with ATG Properties in Enfield, proud sponsors of the game here this evening. As a free coming for Donald Coughlin just inside the Ballybrown 65, and probably plenty of positional switches. Jim Bobby will keep us up to speed as best you can anyway, but first opening coming for Doon.
Yeah, just I suppose Adam English going out to midfield and Jack Ryan starting in the half forward line was probably one, but I'd say Adam will kind of flow between midfield and the half forward line. But as you said in your commentary there, Rich English with an unbelievable restart, the speed of it, if that's their statement went in for the rest of the game. But that's the ability of good teams, I suppose. They stay switched on with other teams switched off, and he got the ball back into play so quick, and Darragh Donovan was reading his play, so well done. English
lifts and strikes, doesn't bring it in enough though. First wide of the evening goes to Doon. There's a bit of a breeze against him, it's kind of swirling as much as anything, but certainly favouring Ballybrown if the flags or anything to go by in this opening half. Cian Hederman, the goalkeeper, goes long with the puck out, looking for Aidan O'Connor, met there by inter-county teammate Barry. There's a foul there. Well, there wasn't a foul, in fact it was his own man. Ross Griffin bursting through. Ross Griffin, oh, he's hooked, going to try and get on it. Tommy Hayes tidies up, and there's a loose hurley by Griffin. Yeah, it was the two Ballybrown men that collided just off the ball there. An early opening for Ballybrown, but good hook there. Not sure who the Doon player was, but stopped Ross Griffin. Yeah, and again we see a pattern of play with Doon. They're very good at closing in that D, conceding no goals, get filtering back. We saw it again there. Ross Griffin was unlucky, but a good hook, and as you say, a very interesting battle here. Aidan O'Connor, Mark and Barry Murphy tonight. Keep an eye on that one. Yeah, Doon coming up the other end. Eddie Stokes gets on it, doesn't in fact grab it. Lee Doolan gets there. Colin Coughlin playing deep again this evening from his own 45. That's going to go very close, but I think it is going to tail, and indeed it does. So Colin Coughlin's early sighter doesn't find its way. Looks to me as if Colin is playing more or less centre back. He's free roll at the moment because Doon have dropped a number of players back. Pat Ryan, the target for this delivery. Ryan coming away from goal, and the wind holding that one up, and eventually brushes the outside of the post, but never looked likely to threaten the scorekeeper here in Kilmallock. Crowd still funneling in. This early 6:15 start is a brilliant take from Ross Griffin. Gives it off to the runner. That's James Coughlin. Coughlin from the sideline, and has he brought it in enough? The umpire though sees that it has gone across the face of goal and wide. Ballybrown, Jim Bob, they I suppose deployed a bit of a shoot on sight policy last week, ended up at 19 wides as well as a goal and 19 on the board, so they were going to want to tidy that up here this evening. Yeah, and it's looking like they're doing something similar at the moment. They've two wides hit already, Colin Coughlin and James Coughlin there, but again they have the wind, as you say, and the shots are probably on, just the accuracy a little bit off the moment. Ball comes off the stick of David Hartnett, and another line ball coming for Doon. Yeah, and as you said, Tom, it's definitely looking like at the moment, I know we're only 3 minutes into the game, but it is looking like Colin Coughlin and Darragh Donovan are both playing sweeper roles. And again, Doon looking for the quick and short puck out. It goes to Richie English, puts so much height on that. It's dropping in around there. Kevin Maher is there, well defended by David Hartnett. First start of the season for Hartnett in that full back, it would appear. Colin Coughlin certainly looks to have moved back to his familiar position in the half back line. Gives it to Aidan O'Connor, into Ross Kenny. Kenny gives it to James Coughlin on the run. Coughlin skips inside the challenge of Mikey O'Brien. Back there is Adam English to disrupt and dislodge. They've turned the ball over, and Coughlin ends up on the floor, but Doon have the possession. Switched across here, bit of a tricky one, and Killian Gavin will get on it for Ballybrown. Takes on his man. Oh, brilliant play by Pat Ryan. Just waited for the ball to go up. Advantage was, or arm was up temporarily from the referee, but he says play will continue. This is Donald Coughlin takes on his man. Coughlin slips onto the surface, throws it up. Oh, does well. Meg Quinn there, plenty of tight marking here in this early exchanges. Keep punch. Lee Doolan looking to get it. Doolan eventually picks it. And eventually a bit of a hand on the back from Eddie Stokes. In fact, he just pulled the arm, did the inter-county panellists, and it's a free for Ballybrown Bonitos. A chance for Aidan O'Connor. We'll just hush because we're more or less standing up on top of his back.
Yeah, we're right alongside, but you can see with both teams at the moment, whether it's Ballybrown trying to mirror Doon. I haven't seen Ballybrown playing that much this season yet, but Doon are definitely playing with kind of no half-forward line, so they filter back, so it's very hard, and maybe that's the reason why Ballybrown are taking the shots on from range at the moment, because they know Doon filter back. But again, we're going to see a lot of maybe forwards trying to battle against 2 or 3 men. In that instance, when Rich English, it looked like he was kind of like going for a point, but Kevin Maher was all on his own with 4 defenders around him. So look, both teams definitely setting up defensively in the first 5 minutes of this game.
So O'Connor from the sideline, straight and through, and brilliant trajectory on that. He's opened the scoring. The top scorer for his side. He's not a million miles off the top in the overall championship, and inside 5 minutes, Ballybrown into the lead.
Yeah, and again, kind of a battle of free takers. 2 fabulous hurlers, Adam English and Aidan O'Connor. Adam English with this point away, he hit his first one. Aidan O'Connor hit that beautifully straight in front of us there, hit it as sweet as you can straight over the bar.
Doon looking to deliver through Darragh O'Donovan. Was it a shot, but it goes short. Cian Hederman tidies it up, and Ballybrown find the younger of the Gavin brothers. This is Mikey. Great to see him back after a cruciate injury. Gives it to Killian, his brother. Here's Colin bursting through the middle. Met there by Barry Murphy. Plenty of red attention. Gives it to Ross Kenny, and Kenny on the 65 coming away from goals. Ross Kenny straight over the bar. Ballybrown find a bit of space, and Ross Kenny nails it.
Yeah, from a coaching point of view, Ross Kenny nearly had time to plant his feet there, but what an unbelievable score. He took it as if there was nearly 3 people around. He hit it over his shoulder, nearly on Kelly Tipperary, fantastic score of Ross Kenny, and puts their first score from play on the board.
Yeah, bright start from Ballybrown, but Pat Ryan looking to change it at the other end, takes on his man. He's a couple of metres of space here, dummies the shot, tries to hand pass it in, and David Hartnett will be there to tidy it up. Doon yet to really settle, and a couple of poor deliveries I think so far from them, but they do turn it over. Kevin Maher in space, and speaking about poor deliveries, that's a poor shot from Kevin Maher. We expect so much more of a player of his quality. Didn't connect with it at all. Here's Ross Kenny, encouraged by one of his forwards to have a shot. He decides now he's going to try and put it into this corner. Good stuff by Cian O'Donovan, the younger of the O'Donovan brothers. So here's Dara now. O'Donovan with advantage coming, carries it through the middle. Lovely bounce. Advantage is played. Dara O'Donovan has to come back to Adam English. Ballybrown looking to swarm him. Keith Punch and Killian Gavin there. Oh, ball switched across. There's a bit of space now for Chris Thomas, and Thomas has to go at the post, and Doon work the space, get the shot away, and Chris Thomas opens their account.
Yeah, it was all created by great ball across the field there by Adam English. Again, Chris Thomas had a great day here the last day against Patrick Swell. Himself and Gareth Thomas got, I think it was 1-9 from play between them, so he's starting the same way there. But again, this game has come down to decision making, as we see. Aidan O'Connor.
Aidan O'Connor from the sideline, has he got it? He has indeed. Raced onto the puck out. Ball skipped the first challengers. O'Connor gets onto it and makes it look oh so easy.
And I think we're after seeing what the pattern this game is going to take. Maybe it's an obvious statement, but it's which team can get their shooters on the ball the best. Chris Thomas, obviously a wing back, but he's well able to shoot. And again, Aidan O'Connor need to get him on the ball. And this game, as much as anything, has come down to decision making on the ball, trying to get the right men on the ball.
Kevin Maher looking to reply at the other end. Simple old game at times. Long puck out at one end taken, long puck out taken at the other, and put over the bar by the big powerful figure of Kevin Maher, the number 14. Replies immediately. Brilliant take of the air, and finished the match.
Yeah, fantastic catch, and it's hard to know actually 1 or 2 balls that went in. We don't know whether there were shots by Doon or balls into Kevin Maher, but it's not a bad option to be hitting the ball in height, especially when you're full forward of that physique that can catch the ball and more importantly put it over the bar after he catches it.
Pat Ryan again back looking for the ball. That's calls of Simon, of course. Pat Ryan Simon being the kind of nickname there in the family is Pat Ryan from the sideline. Has he got it? He has indeed, and we're level. Brilliant score from him. They've brought their scoring touch this evening, these sides.
Yeah, that's one of the best points we've seen the whole championship so far, and then what actually made that score so good was his ball control, nearly hockey style on the ground here to evade Mikey Kiley, and unbelievable score. Again, there wasn't many options inside, so on the run from the sideline over the bar, great score, Pat Ryan Simon.
As Doon look to go for their first lead, get an opportunity to do that here. They have a free in the middle of the field, just swing around, tackle there, and Adam English after the earlier miss about 4 or 5 metres further back, but a very similar angle. Will fancy his chances from here.
Yeah, again, maybe I'm kind of contradicting myself here a bit, but we're nearly going in 10 minutes into the game. This will be Adam English's first point from a free, but Ballybrown are just starting to foul a little. Mike Sexton put the hand up there for Darragh Donovan, eventually put it down. It would have been another free, so they have to keep their discipline if they want to stay in the game. That's
for sure. As English
Mikey, go,
knocks it straight,
go.
knocks it over, and his first gives Doon a first lead of the evening. 3 in a row for them. These sides, as I mentioned in the pre-match, haven't played. Well, sorry, I'll come back to the second ball in around the square, and just I suppose hockeyed away, if you like, from Darragh Stapleton. He's met by Brian Griffin. Darragh Stapleton does very well in showing, I suppose, his quality from playing out the field, and he's nearly going for the return, and here indeed he is. Thought these were only football tactics. He's met by Ross Griffin. Put to the floor. Ballybrown looking for the turnover. They do. Aidan O'Connor has it. O'Connor has the advantage coming. Swivels on it. Tommy Hayes is back on the goal line. Free coming. And in fairness, I thought Ross Griffin, bit of a heavy challenge on the goalkeeper. Referee allowed it to go, and Ballybrown get the reward in terms of the free in. Yeah, but we can just see it there as the Doon players are actually kind of, I suppose, giving out to Mike. They felt it wasn't a free. You can see there, not many of them moved away, and it was literally a 5-on-1. How quick are Doon? Obviously, they wouldn't have been happy with Darragh Stapleton maybe losing the ball. Good pressure out of Ballybrown, but how quick they're able to get men back. And again, we're definitely seeing 10 minutes into the game now. Darragh Donovan is definitely playing as a sweep on one side, and Colin Coughlin is playing as a sweep on another. And it's just interesting the teams would still leave them 2 calibre players free and not put a player on it. Serious stick men, the two of them, as Aidan O'Connor decides to knock it over the bar. Level is up here.
But again, great pressure out of Ballybrown, and that's what they need to do if they want to stay in this game. They need a high work ethic out of their full forward line. They've done it just there, so that'll be a good incentive for Ballybrown there after getting the score.
I mentioned 2019, since these sides met in the Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. It was a victory for Doon that day. And you go back to 2016 when the Ballybrown last got the better of Doon. An early flick in the air from Pat Ryan. I think I could hear the hurley clatter from here. And good officiating under the landing ball was Mike Sexton, and he rewards Ballybrown with the free here, which Aidan will line up.
But again, I have to say I'm very impressed with Ballybrown at the moment, getting their half forward line back to field. Colin Coughlin is a sweeper. I'd have to argue maybe Darragh Stapleton's decision making there, hitting the ball straight down the middle where Colin Coughlin is effectively free. Went up, Pat Ryan definitely fouled him, results in a free for Aidan O'Connor. And given the way the wind is nearly going down towards the goal, you'd expect Aidan O'Connor definitely to range and more than likely the accuracy here.
So silence around Kilmallock as O'Connor goes through with a lovely follow through every time he hits that ball, and makes no mistake about it. His third, and Ballybrown back in front, says Stapleton a little bit sensibly now goes to the wing. That was the plan in the last one. Pat Ryan gathers it. O'Donovan sends it inside. Kevin Maher is going to be underneath the breaking ball, but so too will be Ned Quinn, and he gives it to Cian Hederman, who has to just put the brakes on it a little. It's his 29th birthday today, I'm told, is Cian Hederman, so he's in the dying embers of his 20s now, but he overcooks that one. And a line ball coming for Doon.
Yeah, and that was a bit unfortunate from Ballybrown point of view. Can feel they're just starting to settle into the game. They're starting to get a couple of scores on the board. That was a great outball by Cian Hederman, just overcooked slightly. It was unlucky, he nearly got to a Lee Doolan, but just overcooked. But Ballybrown will be very happy with the few balls that went into Doon's full forward line. No Kevin Maher got one out there or whatever, but they've dealt with the balls in, and they look compact at the back at the moment, which they'll be happy with, because Doon are obviously a high scoring team.
Yeah, Doon Coughlin flicks it back to Pat Ryan. Good block there by Killian Gavin. And again, the shot execution is not what the Doon management, headed up by Derek McGrath, of course, would like. Long ball down to the other end. Tommy Hayes, like all fullbacks, will want just to contest it. If it's not touched, it's not touched, and it goes out for a wide ball, which straight away Doon get off, and they've found Jack Ryan, and Ryan into Coughlin. Very exciting young prospect. This man takes on Ned Quinn. Quinn there to disrupt and dislodge him. And it's going to be Adam English though for company. Oh, look at the pick-up. Thought he'd no chance of it, but scooped it into the paw. And again, the pass and shot selection leaving a little bit to be desired at his early juncture for Doon as they turn it over. Ballybrown looking for Barry Adams. Brian Griffin going to race on it. The keeper decides to put the brakes on. Griffin, a very tricky angle, decides to recycle it to Aidan O'Connor. That's a wise move. And O'Connor coming away for him is going to send it over the bar. And 3 in a row for him, 3 in a row from Ballybrown, and they're into a 2-point lead.
Yeah, again, better play out of Ballybrown there, and a better ball in as well. If we think the previous ball in, it went high, and when Barry Adams actually missed it, it went out over the line, whereas that one, Barry Adams ended up broken and it fell into Brian Griffin. Brian Griffin made a great decision to loop back around, recycle the ball back to Aidan O'Connor, as you said, getting the right man on the ball, and Aidan O'Connor's filling with confidence there. His body language even tell you a great score from play.
Ballybrown don't win the puck out. Darragh Donovan raging through the middle. What's he going to do from here? Flicks it across to Donald Coughlin. Coughlin looking for the goal. Coughlin finishes it. Surging run through the middle from Darragh Donovan. Protests about something from the Ballybrown players in the middle of the field, but it matters little. Donald Coughlin one-handed beats Cian Hederman, and just like that, Doon hit the front again.
Yeah, and I think that's the worry. I think that's the danger with leaving Darragh Donovan free. He seems to be playing a completely free role there. He's kind of staying in the forwards there, kind of maybe going up on Colin Coughlin now, and that's the worry, that he's got the pace and the power to go down the middle there. And in fairness, I know that Donald Coughlin done extremely well to tip that ball into the goal, but it was Darragh Donovan's goal in my view.
Yeah, so Doon hit the first green flag of the evening. Ballybrown hit a wide there, as you might have seen shortly after. Tussling off the ball here as Kevin Maher gives it back to Richie English. He's had plenty of time when he's got on the ball in the early exchanges. So too on an occasion has this man, that's Jack Ryan. Gives it into Pat Ryan, and Ryan from the centre of the field puts plenty on it, but doesn't come in. And a third wide for Doon. So 4 wides to 3. Ballybrown have hit the greater number thus far, as Cian Hederman. You'll see the wind carrying that all the way inside the 20. Good defensive work though by Mikey O'Brien, and it means Doon have plenty of numbers. They've got 6 or 7 back, Ballybrown with only 4 or 5 up, so a bit of time for Cian O'Donovan. Looks for Donald Coughlin. I'm sure he'll be buoyed by that goal, and he is, to pull one out of the sky, and immediately gets the shot off. Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, we're seeing an exhibition so far, James, of sideline shooting, and Donald Coughlin joins the party in that occasion. Again,
you see it time after time in any sport, when a player gets a goal or a big moment in the game, they fill with confidence, and Donald Coughlin, just after getting the goal, ball down, he done brilliantly to win it and score off the sideline there in the 21. Fantastic score, and it probably equals or betters Pat Ryan's score that we saw a while ago also.
Lee Doolin sends it inside looking for Barry Adams, but no touch from either player, and it goes wide. It was perhaps a fraction or two over hit by Doolin, and once again the puck out is to be taken back.
Yeah, just from a tactical point of view here, I think Doon are very, very hard to defend against. They're kind of playing one man inside, then they're playing no full forward line. I think Darragh Donovan's pushing up, and eventually there it ended up Mikey Gavin had to go up the field, up to the half forward line to mark Darragh Donovan because of the puck out there. They're very hard to know who to pick up at times. They're rotating.
Key punch gets on it, a long way from cornerback. Yeah, the players have been pulled all over the place. Brian Griffin can't handle it, but does well, and then with the roll lift, powerful, comes out of the challenge. Darragh Donovan there with him, puts it on his hurley, does Griffin. Was that a chop? Indeed, I think it was, and knocked off his hurley illegally by Barry Murphy. Good carry by Brian Griffin, and he wins the free.
Yeah, great experience there. He's very good decision making on the ball, done very well to engineer the free there. Well done again, Brian Griffin, and as we said, Aidan O'Connor's point from play was nearly created by Brian Griffin as well. And I think maybe in a game like this where Doon filter so many lads back, it's hard to get a ball into the full forward line. So at times, like Brian Griffin does there, you have to take on the man and try and break the tackle.
So chance for O'Connor to add another, which will be his 5th if he can get it just inside the 2-point arc from football. So he'll only be worth the 1 here this evening anyway, as we know, and he's easily enough put that over. Still room for the roll lift. I saw Brian Griffin doing one there. We don't see it that often as we maybe used to, but still room for it inside the ruck sometimes, and Brian showed it expertly there, didn't he?
Well, it certainly helps when you have his stature. He's low to the ground and he's stocky, and so no matter what tackle he got the strength to maybe fend off the men.
Yeah, Doon get the puck out into their own hands, but hand pass is missed by Adam English. Key punch there for company. Ballybrown tried to force the turnover. Darragh Donovan tries to go through a couple of challenges. Ballybrown very much up for the fight. Colin Coughlin gets on it now. Coughlin looking to go through. Brushes off the challenge. Met there though by the opposite number 7. That's Richie English. Ball stays in play. Tries to be rolled up. Who's going to come on it? And eventually Doon get on it. Jack Ryan spins it out towards Cian O'Donovan, I should say. An angle ball looking for Donald Coughlin. He'll have to do a bit of running to catch up with that, and he does. Coughlin sends it across the goal. He was looking for another score from the opposite line, but this time his shot doesn't match the previous one, and it's wide.
Yeah, again, as we can see for the result of both teams playing a sweep, there's a quick puck out there.
Yeah, Killian Gavin has it come in, it hasn't, and 6 wide already for Ballybrown.
And what we see there in the last maybe 3 or 4 scores that Doon have got as well, they're not giving the ball directly into the full forward line. They're actually playing the ball with across the field to either Chris Thomas or Keane Donovan's there, and then they're playing the ball maybe across the field again, or playing a ball at an angle in front of him, and it's working for Doon at the moment.
Doon go along with the puck out, they get it, and that another effort. I think that was Chris Thomas, wasn't it? Yeah, and he sends it wide. He slapped his hurley immediately because he knew it was off target. Ballybrown go along with the puck out. Lee Doolan is on it, gets the low kind of drop shot away. Has he kept it straight? He has, and Lee Doolan knocks over his first and brings Ballybrown back on level terms again.
Yeah, unbelievable vision, I suppose, first of all. Unbelievable striking out of Keane Heatherman. And again, Lee Doolan done unbelievable. How many times do we see a fella drop the ball and maybe fumble afterwards, and he put the ball straight into the hand over the bar? Difficult skill, well done, Lee Doolan.
Eddie Stokes wins it. Here's Richie English rampaging through. Dummies the hand pass. English, what's he going for? Is it going to be a penalty? I'd say it is. Looks to be just inside that line. What are we going for? It's going to be a free. Well, tight margins there. I'd be interested to see that one back again, but
just on first viewing, Tom, I'd say if it was a football match, if it was pulled down, it'd be a black card.
Cart to Dove, I should say. Yeah, let's just have a look at it on our own monitor here. I'd say the initial contact outside. You know what? I know people will say I'm a Ballybrown man, so maybe I'll stay out of this one. But fine margins. In fairness, it was David Hartnett who pulled him down. If it's inter-county, it's a penalty and a black card, but as we know at club level, just to remind viewers that that rule does not apply, so it is a free, as is deemed by Mike Sexton. So Adam English knocks it over, puts him back in front.
But again, I suppose it's easy say this when you're watching the game, hurling the ditch or whatever, but I think Ballybrown will be disappointed given the fact of a sweeper that both Darragh Donovan and Rich English have had the power and pace down. But again, it's very hard to defend. They're county champions for a reason, and they're very experienced players and know when to go.
Lovely pull out of the sky with the left hand of Aidan O'Connor. They work it across to Ross Kenny. Just tried to kind of fade it in, but he was not in acres of space to get the shot away, but he sends it wide as the ball worked immediately out to Chris Thomas. Doon getting plenty of space, I think, at times over in that right channel. And here's Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan sends a high one inside, 2-on-2 inside. Colin Coughlin now coming back to make it 3-on-2. Ball breaks down, Keith Punch puts a hand on it, and Colin Coughlin gives it to his brother James, and James goes long inside looking for Brian Griffin. That's a tricky one, and it is tailed again to the left and wide, and encouraged by their management just to play it a little bit shorter. I think those long balls haven't yielded much so far from Ballybrown as Pat Ryan gets on it. The full forward and full back to our left are getting to know each other, shall we say, inside as Colin Coughlin goes long looking for Brian Griffin, and again a little bit too much on it.
Yeah, you'd often see that in both club and county hurling, that a win can often be detrimental when you're trying to give high ball in. And
turned over. Yeah, here's Aidan O'Connor. Is he going to take on his man? Shortens the grip, gives it into Brian Griffin. Griffin from a tricky angle. Griffin! Flashes it about a metre outside that right hand post. And again, puck out delayed because players are not outside the 20-metre line. But that was a big chance for Ballybrown. They could have opened, put themselves back in front there.
Yeah, it wasn't far off, and I think another positive from a Ballybrown point of view there is they intercepted Darragh Donovan. They got somebody in tight to him, and Aidan O'Connor managed to give a ball into Brian Griffin. He was unlucky with it, and again Colin Coughlin read the ball beautifully going across there on the sweeper. So they're starting to buy into this sweep and roll the way Doon probably made him play, and it's working for him at the moment. The execution.
Yeah, lovely pick up from Ross Kenny, but he can't follow it up with the finish from that sideline. And Ballybrown had 11 wides already. That's 11 wides in just under 23 minutes.
Yeah, and we complimented Ross Kinney for his first score, but he had time to plant the feet, and maybe one or two of his shots that he'd take, he's just rushing that little bit. I think a few of the Ballybrown players are the same. Maybe there might be a man inside and just that last decision going against them.
Yeah, they've sent it up. Jack Ryan gets on it, skips by the challenge of Lee Doolan. It's moved on to Chris Thomas. Thomas coming through the middle. Ballybrown hoping for the steps call, but the ball breaks out. James Coughlin is in there with Pat Ryan. Coughlin wins it again. Ballybrown starting to win a lot of those tussles around the middle. Coughlin ends up on the surface here in Kilmallock. Everyone going foraging for it. Who's going to come out? David Hartnett is there. Adam English, well, if he could have got it, it would have been off to the races time. Keith Punch bursting out with it. Punch, little flick off to Ross Kenny. Skips inside Darragh Donovan. Kenny puts it on to Hurley. What are his options from here? Kenny inside that 40-metre line. Kenny with the dummy and decides to flick it over the bar. He ends up on the surface. Great surging run from him and a second score for him.
Yeah, I'd say Ross Kenny said that if Dara Donovan and Rich English can go down the middle, so can I. He's unbelievable athleticism, great decision making on the ball. I'd say Rich English would have got a flick in to stop the ball, but so he took it on again, ball bounced, and I'd say he was actually nearly going for goal, going by the shot, but just went over the bar. Great score to get his second point from play from Ross Kenny.
Carried it nearly 40 metres in some shape or form, came off his hurley, and eventually, as we saw, just pulled on it and went over the bar. But encouragement aplenty for Ballybrown in this early exchange. The only thing that's probably not encouraging is the fact that they're not ahead. They probably feel they've done the majority of the hurling and starting to pick up a lot in the rucks here. There's a heavy challenge from Adam English on Ross Griffin, and just look at that wide count. That's 11. I mean, if they could have had it's easy to say from up here, as we say, but 4 or 5 of those had gone over, that would have been a lot healthier position. But plenty of encouragement for Kevin Lally and his management team beneath us.
An awful lot of positives, and even the fact your stat of 11 wides, even though it's a negative, you had 11 opportunities.
You're getting a lot of possession and a lot of openings.
The unfortunate thing about it is the wind is slightly going towards the goals. It's nearly a kind of a scoring breeze, and with Doon's calibre of forwards, you'd imagine they might have the shooting boots on in the second half. But again, you'll be very happy at half time from a Ballybrown point of view. They're starting to get up to the tempo of the game. They're starting, if Ballybrown miss any touch at all, they're straight in top from dispossess them, and I think they'll be happy from a work rate point of view.
Aidan O'Connor has seen that one just breeze away to the right hand side and wide, so he unfortunately brings him to a dozen wides as the puck out short. Mikey Kiley had read the flight of it, just couldn't get his come on to it, as Jack Ryan, clearly operating on that right wing back position, gives it into Pat Ryan. Ryan with the jink and the feint, and it comes back to Chris Thomas. Thomas, another man who feints his way out of trouble, and Thomas from the sideline. The Doon supporters over there like it. Chris Thomas likes it, and Doon back in front.
Yeah, again, no team likes to concede a point, but I think Ballybrown will be very happy at how hard Doon had to work for that score. How many times we've seen Parran get the ball, turn, take on the man and straight over the bar, and to do 2 or 3 passes, but a great finish by Chris Thomas.
Free coming here for Ross Griffin, through the middle. Ross looking for Barry Adams. Adams, can he bury it? He can! Brilliant run from Ross Griffin, gives it to Barry Adams at the back stick, and Adams makes no mistake. Ballybrown into the lead.
Yeah, and again, I think Ballybrown needed that score. It's coming at a good time, 5 minutes left up to half time. But again, as you said, with 12 wides on the board, they needed that goal to have a little bit of a cushion with the breeze in the second half. So, and again, I think they earned that goal in terms of their primary possession, winning the breaks, their tackle count, and I think a goal was created from all the aspects of the game.
James Cockton does well under a lot of pressure, spills it eventually. But again, the white jersey is quick to the ruck, quick to the breakdown, and he does well. Gives it off to Lee Doolan. He has time, opens up the shoulders, and that one is going to go well to the right and wide. A lot more time than he probably realised, and that maybe is a frustration for Ballybrown on this occasion. But good finish as well by Barry Adams. We must compliment him for the take and the finish. Powered it through the middle of the goals, but nice and low. Give the keeper a little chance, and Kevin Maher catches the ball, and
yeah, David Hartnett and Kevin Matter are having a right
ding dong,
right battle out there. It's old school stuff. Kevin Matter obviously have caught the 2 balls there, that one just recently, but again, the reason why Doon haven't scored as much maybe in that 10-15 minute period before that is David Hartnett has come to terms with the high ball coming in, so they're having a good battle there. Yeah,
the free coming for the high challenge. What do you do though when a man like Kevin Maher gets his paw on it? Very hard to stop from there. He did foul him, and Adam English with the free inside. Kim Nelly already orchestrating things beneath us for the next puck out and what they can do from here, but he would fancy Adam English from here, and in fact, well, is that the crux of the commentator? I haven't had one this season of that nature. I'm very surprised with that one.
Yeah, you could just hear it from here, and I couldn't believe it. The umpire actually way wide, but he completely mishit the ball. But again, what Doon are very good at, and I've noticed them more tonight than I even did against Patch again the last time, is they're very good at using every thing, every advantage they have. Bringing Kevin Maher out there for puck outs is a good option, and they're rotating their forwards. You see Lee Doolan taking another shot.
Lee Doolan, that's much better. The other one sailed right and wide. This one goes straight and over. And a 3-point advantage for Ballybrown for the first time this evening. Good surging run by Colin Cockton. Invited the red jerseys and just slipped it off to Doolan.
Yeah, and we talk about character all the time, and it's a great sign of character there from Lee Doolan. How many times do players hit it wide and they maybe hit that ball in? He had the courage to take it on. Great score. Got his second point from play, Lee Doolan. Yeah,
it was subbed the last day, but came on early for David Hall, who's injured. But back at the other end, there's a response from Eddie Stokes, and Stokes jogs away from the minute it hit his stick, lefty stick. He's replied again, and Doon have that ability to respond to scores. They look long here for the puck out. Ross Griffin again gets on the possession. Ballybrown looking to work it. Killian Gavin from the sideline. Is that going to turn in? I don't think it is. And it's now 14 wides. And I stress the point that they've lived to rue those potentially as this game goes on. Darragh Donovan gets the puck out short. Doon been very comfortable and very assured in doing that, and then they go short and then they go long as they do here. Kevin Maher is met there by David Hartnett. David Hartnett decides a bit of old style stuff, just batted away, and he did very well. Here's Lee Doolan, looks flick to Ross Kenny. Battle of the yellow helmets out there, and the line ball coming for Ballybrown, but very much encouraged here as we head for the last 60 odd seconds of this half.
Yeah, again you're on 14 or 15 wides for Ballybrown there, but again we have to compliment Doon again on their tackle count. There is Killian Gavin's was the last one for a wide from Ballybrown, but there was great pressure being put on. But again a good start of the game was Eddie Stokes actually got the first point from play for Doon's half forward line in the whole game, so I'll just tell you Ballybrown's half back line have been on top, and maybe that's the sweeper in there as well.
We've seen a lot of rucks between the 45 and 65 there in the last few minutes. Ballybrown more often than not seem to come out with the slitter as well, so that's probably why it's been quiet there. As Aidan O'Connor cuts the line ball. Has he got it? I thought he had for a second, but probably worth to go. Goes to the left and wide, but now 15 wides. I tell you, I didn't think they'd hit more than 20 as they hit last week against Patrick Sull, but they've threatened it already. 15 in this opening 30 minutes. We will play on for another little bit anyway in this half as Colin Coughlin gets beneath the puck out. Eddie Stokes on the break. Darragh O'Donovan took a lot of steps there, but does well to recycle it. Lovely little short stick work. They've worked it inside now. Eddie Stokes takes on Eddie Stokes inside the 40 metre line. Well, the wind just dragged that away at the last. I thought it was sailing over, but swirly breeze here. And
yeah, from the angle we're at there, it looked like a point, but Eddie Stokes didn't do too much.
Oh, look at the puck out for Ross Griffin. Griffin with the shot. It's going to go in and go short though. Good pressure by Richie English. And back now comes Doon. Jack Ryan carrying it out. Mikey Kiley for company. Key punch goes up there with Darragh Donovan. Colin Coughlin gets on it. Ballybrown still playing some neat and tidy stuff. Oh, lovely stuff. Moved on as Barry Adams plenty of time to pick off his score, and Barry Adams adds to his goal. Lovely little flick by Mikey Kiley. Plenty of experience in that. Probably looked before he got the ball, flicked it over the head. Lovely little score. Lovely little assist.
Mikey Kiley in the same parish, Keane Lynch, kind of samba hurling going on there now. It's fantastic.
They are
vision.
in the same parish actually, yeah.
He actually even done, you often compliment him in soccer, he took a look around to see the defender coming, so he looked before he got the ball, and a great flick over his head and nearly made the score, and great score to Barry Adams as we see the half-time coming.
So there is the half-time whistle called by Mike Sexton. It is 111 to 1-8 in favour of Ballybrown, and Ballybrown have to be happy with that half of hurling. I mean, despite the obvious statistic at the top of my sheet here of 15 wides, they have to be happy with a lot of what they did in this contest so far.
No, I think they're going in with a lot of positives. I think that it'll be well documented that we're playing with a breeze. It's definitely a 3-point breeze, to be ahead. But look, they'll be disappointed with a couple of aspects. They'll be happy with the fact they created so many scores. They'll be disappointed maybe with Kevin Maher catching them balls that it wasn't broken down. They'll be disappointed maybe with a couple of catches, a couple of maybe frees given away. But in general, I think the goal was a massive turning point in the half. I think it gave them great confidence. I think they'll be quite happy to go in 3 points up. But they know they will know full well, maybe they obviously are Doon, are the county champions, that they will have to up their game a bit in the second half if they want to come out here with a victory.
The real game now starting with the youngsters on at half time. Great to see both clubs with their minis on and they're ready for action, but we're going to take a little bit of a break here, and a reminder that this evening's stream is brought to you in association with ATG Properties Enfield Limited. We'll take a break and be back shortly. So O'Connor from the sideline, straight and true, and brilliant trajectory on that. He's opened the scoring, plenty of red intention, gives it to Ross Kenny, and Kenny on the 65 coming away from goals. Ross Kenny straight over the bar there. Ball switched across. There's a bit of space now for Chris Thomas, and Thomas has the go at the post, and Doon worked the space.
Same way there, but again this game has come down to decision making, as we see Aidan O'Connor.
Aidan O'Connor from the sideline, has he got it? He has indeed. Raced onto
as much as anything has come down to decision making on the ball, trying to get the right men on the ball.
Kevin Maher looking to reply at the other end. Simple old game at times. Over the wall, it's calls of Simon, of course. Pat Ryan Simon being the kind of nickname there in the family is Pat Ryan from the sideline. Has he got it? He has indeed. Would
have been another free, so they have to keep their discipline if they want to stay in the game.
That's for sure. As English knocks it straight, knocks it over.
Leave dim 2 calibre players free and not put a player on it.
Serious stickmen, the two of them, as Aidan O'Connor decides to knock it over the bar. So silence around Kilmallock as O'Connor goes through with a lovely follow through every time he hits that ball, and a tricky angle, decides to recycle it to Aidan O'Connor. That's a wise move, and O'Connor coming away from him is going to send it over the bar. And
Aidan O'Connor, as you said, getting the right man on the ball, and Aidan O'Connor's filling with confidence there. His body language even tell you a great score from play.
Ballybrown don't win the puck out. Darrow Donovan raging through the middle. What's he going to do from here? Flicks it across to Donald Coughlin. Coughlin looking for the goal. Coughlin finishes it. Donald Coughlin, I'm sure he'll be buoyed by that goal, and he is, to pull one out of the sky, and immediately gets the shot off. Oh, brilliant stuff. Get it just inside the 2-point arc from football, so it'll only be worth the one here this evening anyway, as we know, and he's off target. Ballybrown go long with the puck out. Lee Doolan is on it, gets the low kind of drop shot away. Has he kept it straight? He has. So it is a free, as is deemed by Mike Sexton. So Adam English knocks it over, puts him back in front. What are his options from here? Kenny inside that 40-metre line. Kenny with the dummy and decides to flick it over the bar. He ends up, and it comes back to Chris Thomas. Thomas, another man who feints his way out of trouble, and Thomas from the sideline. The Doon supporters over there.
I'll be very happy at how hard Doon had to work for that score. How many times we've seen Perrin get the ball, turn, take on the man and straight over the bar, and to do 2 or 3 passes, but a great finish by Chris Thomas.
Free coming here for Ross Griffin. Through the middle, Ross looking for Barry Adams. Adams, can he bury it? He can!
For puck outs is a good option, and they're rotating their forwards. You see Lee Doolan taking another
Lee
shot.
Doolan, that's much better. The other one sailed right and wide. This one goes. It was sub the last day, but came on early for David Hall, who was injured. But back at the other end, it was a response from Eddie Stokes, and Stokes jotting tidy stuff. Oh, lovely stuff. Moved on as Barry Adams plenty of time to pick off his score, and Barry Adams adds to his goal. Lovely little flick by Mikey Kite.
Grace Park, Dublin Road, Enfield, County Meath. Coming soon. An exclusive development of large 2 and 3 bedroom family homes. Register at www.graceparkenfield.ie. Developer ATG Properties, Enfield Limited.
O'Sullivan Centre Clarina, your one-stop shop. From Roosters Piri Piri to Caramico Pizza, Centre Clarina satisfies every craving. Pamper your pooch at our Wash and Wag station, or grab a coffee at the Creamery Cafe and relax in our seating area. Experience it all at Centre Clarina.
You're very welcome back to Fitzgerald Park here in Kilmallock. We're just about set for the second half, although the youngsters on the field look to be continuing their game despite the cones and everything being removed, but the teams are coming back out. Ballybrown back out first, Doon just trotting their way back out of the dressing room, and James, while there is a considerable breeze blowing in this venue, and it will blow from left to right as viewers look on it, Ballybrown will have to be so happy with a lot of what they've done there, and they want to see now, can they carry it to 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, and see where that takes them come to the final.
Yeah, again, look, a breeze can only be a positive for the other team if they're winning primary possession, if they're getting that yard of space. So I think Ballybrown will be very, very happy in the first half that they were competing in all the areas. Any of the battles on the field there, as I said, David Hartner was getting on top of Kevin Maher there for a while, even though he caught 2 balls. The 2 cornerbacks were looking solid. They kind of closed down Pat Ryan. Garrett Thomas, like for a man who scored, was it 8 points in play here the last day? He got man of the match.
Yeah.
If no score got there, Mike Gavin's done a right job on him. And I think, as I said, in the first 10 minutes of that game, for puck outs and all that, Ballybrown were looking around, rabbits and headlights, didn't know who they were marking, and then they settled down. They started getting on their men, they started knowing who they were marking, they were getting tight, and again, as I said, don't have the breeze, but if they don't give them the yard of space, it's still going to be very, very hard to score.
So the youngsters have made their way off the field. We're underway for the second half of this Whitebox Properties Limerick Senior Hurling Championship clash. Ballybrown thought they had the initial possession, but Doon rescued it through Jack Ryan. They've come back now with a shot at the posts from Chris Thomas, and Thomas's effort though has sailed to the left and wide.
Yeah, and for some reason there, Pat Horgan's wide straight away after half-time. The All-Ireland final, I was just thinking if Chris Thomas got that, it would have been a massive psychological boost for Doon. So I think from Ballybrown point of view, they'll be delighted that went wide.
So Ballybrown go long with the puck out, looking for Brian Griffin. He's tussling there with Mikey O'Brien, but Thomas, Chris Thomas that is, comes up with it, carries it outside and sends it down one-on-one inside with Hartnett and Kevin Maher. Maher wins the race. Maher from the sideline puts plenty on it, and the pressure from Hartnett has told because it has gone to the left and wide. So another missed opportunity for Doon. Ballybrown go long with the puck up. Darragh Donovan though reads it, intercepts it, and the wide count now in double digits for Doon. So they have 3 in a row and brings them up to 10. So a little bit wasteful in the early endeavours of the second half.
Yeah, and again, maybe we're underestimating the wind. Maybe it's swirling, or maybe there's something going on. Maybe it's not that easy to actually put the ball over the bar. Maybe the wind's taken off the side, because there is a lot of wides there. Doon after hitting 3 in a row. But again, from a decision-making point of view, Kevin Maher was on his own there. You'd say, should he have maybe recycled back out? But there wasn't too many options. But hitting the ball over your shoulder from an angle like that, it's nearly one result 99% of the time. So again, good pressure. And as I said, Ballybrown will be very, very happy with their matchups. Mikey Gavin's picking up Darragh Donovan there now as well, and maybe they're tactically after getting it right as well at half time. So they'll feel they're right in this game, being 3 points up at half time.
Yeah, Keith Punch giving plenty of attention to Adam English as well, tracking him everywhere he goes, as the line ball didn't get up and Doon looked to come through the middle as Eddie Stokes gets on it, met by a challenge, and ball stays in play. Pat Ryan trying to escape the white jerseys, does well. Keith Punch gets, I think, the last touch to it, going to be a line ball in favour of Doon. This is one, of course, of 4 games streaming this weekend. We obviously had Bowen Lean booking their place in the quarter-final last evening with a nervy enough victory in the end. They were 11 points up against Newcastle West, but held on to win by 2. So they're in the top group for next season, and indeed the quarter-final for the remainder of this season, as Doon work it short, work it backwards, and they've found Cian O'Donovan. They're looking to clog the middle. They've worked it into Donald Coughlin, the Doon goal scorer. Coughlin takes on Ned Quinn, but Quinn forces him away from goal, and referee says play will go on here. Adam English gets away. Lee Dooling gets a half block in there. Doon still trying to find a space to work a shot, and ball finds its way eventually out to Pat Ryan. Tricky angle, looks all the way across for Jack Ryan. Bit of space here for Ryan, pops it into Kevin Maher. Where's Maher going to go with it? He's going to flash it over the bar, and we do have the opening score of the second half after 33 minutes. Kevin Maher flashes one over the bar, back to 2 points.
Yeah, and again, but look how hard Doon had to work for that point. Eventually it ended up being great vision out of Pat Ryan to spot Jack Ryan straight across the other side of the field. I think Doon have been very good at playing the width of the field, actually, but Ballybrown are getting a lot of men back the field, even for the sideline cut Dara Dunn was taken there. Ross Kinney went right back to Mark Pat Ryan, who's a corner forward, so they're willing to defend, they're willing to get men behind the ball, and maybe they're kind of saying, look, let them shoot from the half back line, because there is a bit of space there, but they're already after hitting the wide, so they won't be as confident. So look, Ballybrown are maybe playing a kind of a rolling the dice a bit, getting men back and see if they shoot from range, go over, so be it. But again, Kevin Maher ended up getting the point, but they have to work extremely hard for their scores at the moment.
So temporary sub call for Keith Punch. Think of that collision there with Donald Coughlin, blood streaming down his face. He goes off, Kenny Power is in. So one KP off and the other KP off. So Keith Punch off temporarily at least, with Kenny Power in. Bit of a blooded nose for Punch, who was picking up Adam English, but back to 2 points as the puck out goes long. Ballybrown looking for something to give them a foothold in this second half. Barry Murphy carries it. Aidan O'Connor gets his stick to it. It's a bit of a war zone in that middle, the early part of the second half, that's for sure. Chris Thomas is there for it. He does well to knock it away, but Brian Griffin reads the direction of play, sends it inside, looking for Mikey Kiley. Kiley has to reach high for it, does well. Kiley sends it back across the field to Aidan O'Connor. He's in space, and I think Aidan O'Connor is sensibly going to take the score for Ballybrown. And talking about getting a foothold, he gets their score and gets them on the board for the second half.
Yeah, and look, Ballybrown are going to have to do a little bit more of that. We're complimenting Ballybrown, we're complimenting Pat Ryan in his vision there. Mikey Kiley done really well. He realised that he could have got hooked or blocked, and the game has been played very tight. Spotted Aidan O'Connor across the field. Obviously Aidan O'Connor showed unbelievable footwork. That's bread and butter stuff, put the ball over the bar. Good score for Ballybrown.
Yeah, so Keith Punch back in, Kenny Power gone out, and Ned Quinn wins the bounce, wins the break, and Ballybrown look to carry it, and Killian Gavin puts up his hand. Just a bit of a brain freeze there. I think he wasn't caught in two minds, ended up juggling the ball, and illegally so an opportunity for Doon to respond with a free of their own. And interestingly, Adam English is not going to take it. It looks to be Garrett Thomas who's coming over to take it. So Adam English keeps himself planted in the middle of the field. Garrett Thomas is going to come over and strike it. Maybe, I'm only speculating now, maybe Adam English a little bit off colour this evening.
Yeah, look, I suppose he had two wides, and maybe they feel they're a little bit under the cosh. So, yeah, look, it's an interesting one. But Adam English, in fairness to me, he will be very disappointed. He missed one straight in front of the goal. Garrett Thomas lifts, and well, they've swapped the free taker, but the result is exactly what they want, and he knocks over their first free of the second half and back again. And again, Tom, it might be a two-way decision. They need to start getting Garrett Thomas into the game. Maybe they feel that he's not in it enough. He's had very low possessions and hasn't got a score from play yet. Lee Doolan gets onto the puck out. Lee Doolan has landed it from the middle of the field, a third for him. And when Ballybrown get the space, they're not afraid to shoot. And yeah, Lee Doolan, he's all over the field. He's picking up possessions, winning breaking ball. He's interlinking play and getting 3 points in play, and obviously had a wide as well. He's really in the game at the moment. He's kind of all over the place. He's hard to pick up. He's actually kind of playing the Dara Donovan role in the first half. He's kind of nearly playing sweeping there, kind of looping around, kind of maybe into county centre forward, where he's kind of coming out into the middle of the field, and then Barry Murphy following him at the moment. So sub for Ballybrown, you might have spotted it just there. Mikey Kiley making way after greens there, so Bobby Smith is in for him. And Smith has some players and supporters beneath. He's looking for plenty of energy for him. Doon go very, very long with the puck up. Kevin Maher looks to tidy it up. Lovely little pick. Maher in space, and easy enough for him. Knocks it over the bar as another Ballybrown man has gone down injured. That's Ross Kenny. I'm not sure what happened to him, maybe something off the ball, but it doesn't look in the greatest level of comfort. But Kevin Maher, it's such a great option to have. He didn't start the first round, but since then he's been, I suppose, a big pillar of this team. Big man inside there, and he's well capable of some of the finer skills of the game as well. Yeah, and look at what he's really good at as well. And obviously it's his stature, but when he does go for the ball, if he doesn't catch it, it obviously breaks, and more often than not in front of him, and that's what happens there. Hoovered it up there. It's a big debate in hurling whether it's a bit of luck or a bit of talent and skill and ability, but Doon are getting the rub of the green at the moment. The ball seems to be breaking in their path, as we see. Kevin Maher actually didn't win that ball, I thought. David Hartnett done well to actually break the ball down, but it just fell into Kevin Maher's path. And I know there's a bit of talent and ability to it, but it is a bit of luck as well in hurling, the breaking ball. And as I said, Doon are just kind of, the ball's just falling their way at the moment as well. Ballybrown allowed to go short. Doon
discouraged by some of their defenders to press up, so they go long, and there's a foul on Brian Griffin. He's held off the ball straight away. Good spot by Mike Sexton. So some more inexperienced refs might be just watching the ball sailing through the sky. He's not. He's looking at what's going on ahead of the play, and he sees a foul on Brian Griffin. No protest from Doon, and it means Aidan O'Connor can jog his way out and respond to that score. And Ballybrown will want to just keep that gap at 3-4 points if they can, and Aidan O'Connor's the ideal opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and again there wasn't much given out by Mike O'Brien there, so he must have Mike Sexton around a long time, maybe saw that dark arc to the jersey being pulled or whatever. But again, Brian Griffin, even though he hasn't scored yet, he's been very effective. He's won a couple of frees, and again, you're complimenting Kevin Maher one side. Brian Griffin has been a good target man so far in this game.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's Aidan O'Connor, such a talisman for the club all the way up the grades, and won minor and under 21 titles in recent years, and keeps his free low and keeps it accurate. So another one for Aidan O'Connor, and the gap now back to 3 points. So Ballybrown have negotiated 9 minutes of the second half. No ground lost, no ground gained, whereas you are as Colin Coughlin keeps his eyes firmly on that ball, pops it off to Lee Doolan. Doolan bounces it down into Ross Griffin, gives it to Aidan O'Connor. Mikey O'Brien there for company. Good defending by Mikey O'Brien. Got his stick to it, watched the slitter all the way, waited for Aidan to throw it up, and Mikey flicks it out for a line ball.
Yeah, Mikey O'Brien on the Limerick panel a few years ago, obviously had a few injuries, but unbelievable defending there. Big strong stature of a man, and had to be that tight. I think Aidan O'Connor had shot in his mind there, but again, great vision out of Lee Doolan again, and I think you're always going to be in the game when you're sent back and go up and catch a ball there like that. Great catch out of Colin Coughlin as well. So again, all signs of a team that are growing into the second half. As you said, 9 minutes gone. I think Ballybrown will be looking at scoreboard.
Well, Aidan O'Connor had a marker in the first half. He gets this one, cuts it over the bar. It seems to be a rarity in the sport these days, but Aidan O'Connor shows how it's done. Brilliant line ball. Yeah,
and John, what there's big talk about whether our sideline should be 2 points for the skill itself, and maybe it would encourage more people to do it, because it's a fantastic skill to look at, and great score out of Aidan O'Connor there.
David Hartnett loses the ball and has to kick it away, but Ballybrown have the numbers back there, and one of those is Mikey Gavin, and he does very well. There's space here now for Ross Kenny. Kenny looks up and sees Barry Adams is inside. Tommy Hayes there for company, and Cian O'Donovan, I suppose the spare defender in front of him. He can tidy up the pieces for Doon. Comes out through there. Ballybrown looking to rob O'Donovan of the ball. Goes through the middle there. Nothing doing, says the referee. Ball worked off to Gareth Thomas, and Thomas's effort doesn't come in, and another wide for Doon.
Yeah, and if we were saying about the wind there, and that it's a swirling wind or whatever, we definitely saw it there. Gareth Thomas tried to just put the ball up into the air, thinking the wind would take it in between the posts. Actually took it the opposite way, took it further away from the goal, so it's definitely kind of going down into the corner more than into the goal. But again, Ballybrown won't care too much about that. They're 4 points up, and again, you're on about confidence and all that. I think men putting the ball down from a sideline after Colin Coughlin catching the ball would give any team massive confidence going into the second half of the second half.
Yeah, well, we're a long way from done in this contest, as charging out with it is Chris Thomas. He wins his free, and an opportunity for his younger brother I believe, to come back and knock it over.
Yeah, again, this will only be his second free of the game. Obviously the change free taker at half time I think he's off him, but this is a much harder free. Again, he's just after taking a shot where he judged the wind wrong, so I'm assuming he's going to keep the ball to the left and let the wind draw this one in.
So just a fraction behind his own 65, and Thomas is going to hit it straight. Umpires having a good look, but they agree that it has gone over. And Doon keeping in touch, so they'll be hoping that there's a purple patch coming, but probably little signs of it so far. Ballybrown matching them more or less score for score at the start of the second half.
Yeah, again, great confidence shown by Gareth Thomas, considering he came to the match today not knowing he was going to be the free taker, so that was a fantastic score. As we see Ballybrown now getting a bit of the rub of the green. As I was saying a while ago, that ball just tipped off a Doon foot, and it's another sideline that maybe Aidan O'Connor might try. Well,
he just switches it across the field looking for James Coughlin, and it actually overcooked him and undercooked Ross Kenny. They work it inside. There's James Coughlin. Coughlin is felled by Barry Murphy. And brilliant vision from Aidan O'Connor. I know the execution wasn't what he wanted, but brilliant vision. He could have been a bit greedy there, wanted to try and have his own glory score, if you like, from the other wing, but he decided to try and get James Coughlin into it. Didn't work out, but eventually Coughlin gets on it and eventually wins a free.
Yeah, and again, even though Aidan O'Connor, we complimented Rich English a while ago, right at the start of the game with a quick sideline, Aidan O'Connor tried it there. Darragh Stapleton just saying to Chris Thomas, just calm down a bit. I think it put him into a kind of a nervous kind of thinking there. There was 2 Ballybrown men around him. He should have caught the ball. He batted out, and again, if don't keep making these little mistakes, it'll keep Ballybrown tipping the ball over like Aidan O'Connor did there to put him keep him ahead.
Yeah, and 3 of the last 4 gone for Ballybrown. That means they're 4 to the good. 1 better than they were at half time. I'm sure they'll be happy to have got nearly to the 3/4 mark in the lead, but they'll know the job is far from done, and as Doon go along looking inside, Adam English has gone into the edge of the square. Flash ball, wide ball, as I say, and another wide registered for Doon. That's a dozen of now.
And we'd always be wondering what would be going on at half time in matches and what's been said, and I think Ballybrown definitely have a tactic in the second half. They knew there was going to be a couple of aerial balls in, and I think they're dealing with them they look way more comfortable here in the second half with them, and maybe the wind is helping or whatever, but they look way more compact back there when the ball's coming in. That's been a big help in the second half for Ballybrown as well.
Keane Hederman looking for, I think, Ross Griffin, and indeed Aidan O'Connor. Griffin gets a flick on it, but the red jerseys are coming up. But there's a free out for charging. The Doon player's not happy. Ross Griffin has ended up on the floor. Mike Sexton was adamant that it is a free in rather than a free out, and another opportunity coming for Ballybrown.
Yeah,
things not flowing for Doon, I think it's fair to say.
No, things not flowing. And Mike O'Brien done very well to win the ball, but it definitely looked like barging from here. To be fair, he definitely shoulder met the chest, and Doon aren't happy. But I think Doon aren't happy with the way Doon are playing more than the freedom Mike Sexton's after giving. I think the frustration often does come out in the referee. But again, that will be a very frustrating moment for Doon, because they're struggling to win primary possession. Again, you have to give Ballybrown credit for it. But the one time there, they won breaking ball and they wanted to move forward. He runs straight into a man, and again, I think a lot of Doon's frustration is a cause of Ballybrown putting the pressure on. I think their work rate is definitely upped. I think they're working harder in the second half than they did in the first, and it's paying dividend, as we see. Aidan O'Connor taking a free here to maybe put him 5 up.
So Aidan with the chance will bring up the speed with the other game we're streaming in a moment, as that is at half time, but matters more important for us here in this one, as Aidan with the free doesn't put an awful lot of height in it, just enough though, and the men from Florina inching their way towards victory.
Yeah, and again, I was just saying, unforced errors there. That'll be the most disappointing thing from Doon. I know Derek McGrath and Paul Keane there will be very disappointed with maybe Chris Thomas sent batting that ball down. He should have caught it. Mikey Bryan coming out of the ball, getting barged. A little pressure Ballybrown are putting on here.
Yeah, huge pressure. Real encouragement there from the line there. There's a bit of off the ball stuff going on beneath us, but it's out with Richie English. English from the middle of the field. I think he's got measured that perfectly. He has indeed. Richie English gives the perfect response. And back to 4.
Yeah, and again, Keane Hederman with a quick puck out. His puck outs, I think, have been very good today. He's been on the ball every time, and doing quick ones and slowing it up. Great experience out of Keane Hederman.
Doon looking to make it 2 quick scores in a row. Mikey O'Brien, where has he sent it? He sent it wide. As Doon now up to 6 wides in the second half. Half time in the other game in this group, it is Han a goal and 9, Patrick Swell 2-9. So the Well, after a sluggish enough start, have turned things around, and the whistle, I think, saving a Han a little bit in that one, but it is half time. Work to do for a Han if they want to keep their championship hopes alive. Ballybrown more than doing that here this evening. Ball worked inside to Barry Adams, gives it back to Aidan O'Connor. Aidan O'Connor just inside the 20-metre line, and that is the first wide of the second half for Ballybrown, bringing them to 16 now in total. But a good, neat enough move, but the finish didn't come from O'Connor. Big long puck out looking for Kevin Maher is the goalkeeper Darragh Stapleton, broke down by David Harnett, and Pat Ryan is there to pick up the pieces, and Pat Ryan sees his effort wide. There's protests aplenty from Doon, the umpire waving it wide, but
yeah, Pat Ryan's adamant there, went over the bar, but
not alone, he was 3 or 4 of his teammates who watched it as well. Well, let's see how that will matter in the end. Ballybrown going long, not the greatest delivery, but held up in the breeze. Cian O'Donovan met there by Bobby Smith, gets his tackle in, but Doon still have it. Ball breaks down. Killian Gavin, and a loose hurley, I think, by O'Donovan.
Just even there again, Cian Donovan going up, just dropping the ball there. Again, Jack Ryan came out, the Ballybrown management are here under us to say he threw it up and caught it. I actually think he did. Darren Donovan giving a little flick away. They're just not at it tonight, as you said. Adam English been taken off the freeze, and Ballybrown are growing in confidence here. And again, the most impressive thing about Ballybrown, usually when you're the underdog in the whole lot, they're not slow to try a quick puck out, to give it out. They're not slow to run the ball out and draw Doon out. So again, they're as much as Doon aren't at it, Ballybrown are keeping them thinking, and they're kind of frustrating them in changing up their play as well.
So O'Connor on the 65 metre line with a chance to extend their advantage. 4 in it now. Looking to put 5, puts it again straight enough, keeps it just inside that post, and another one for him as Ballybrown make a sub. We'll come to that momentarily, but back to 5. The play will not continue until there's the sub. Luke O'Connor is in, the son of the great Ollie, and he came on the last days at his shoulder trouble all year. In he comes for Brian Griffin. Brian Griffin, I think it's fair to say, Jim Bob emptied the tank for Ballybrown in that full forward line. Put
in a great shift, and again with the breeze, whatever way O'Connor, I know his striking ability is unbelievable, but the way he's striking him, TJ Reid, like, it actually suits it against the wind. He's drilling him.
Lovely take from Kevin Maher, flicks the wrist, but doesn't get the accuracy on the shot. But again, brilliant taking in the air now, and 15 wides for Doon. 7 in that first half now, onto 8 in the second half. And is there something going on at the goals down there? Is there a wind tunnel that we're not seeing? But it seems to be attracting a lot of mistimed efforts.
But again, I would give credit to both teams. Like even Kevin Maher caught the ball there, but when he was striking the ball, there was 2 or 3 around him. He had to hit the ball kind of up into the air because he would have got blocked. So it is a cause of, like, obviously a few of the wides have been poor, but some of them have been due to massive pressure being put on him. So and as I said already, I think Ballybrown's work rate has improved definitely in the second half against the wind, which they knew probably at half time they had to do.
Yeah, victories for Ballybrown over Ahan in round 1, Patrick Swell in round 3, but in between was a heavy enough defeat by 8 points to Napiershik. So we'll be conscious what another result will do. Pat Ryan, though, trying to change things for Doon. There's a slip there for Jack Ryan, and getting onto it is James Coughlin. Gives it to Ross Kenny, playing very, very deep in the second half. Gives it to Luke O'Connor. Lovely neat touch from him. Ballybrown now starting to throw it around a bit. Lee Doolan surging up, lovely little brick flick into the run of Ross. Griffin bearing down inside the 20. Griffin with Richie English for company. Griffin, though, doesn't see his pass executed to perfection, and Mikey O'Brien is in there. Key punch now with Adam English. Both players looking for that sliotar, and a huge lift of encouragement from the Ballybrown bench. When you're playing against a player like Adam English, any turnover is oxygen, and Key punched it very, very well there.
Yeah, not so long ago we saw Key punching here under us. Even the white jersey, the bloodstains look better on a white jersey. The way he's playing like a warrior out there at the moment.
Just a bit of a cut over his eye.
But he was stone mad to get back onto the field again. I suppose any player, and it's a credit to Adam English, and I'm saying this, would want to go on and try and match their skill up against, as we see him there battling again up against Adam English. He's doing a fine job, and I think that was a massive momentum boost for Ballybrown as well, straight in front of us.
Yeah, they turned it over as Donald Coughlin gets it, and he's run it out. Well, in fact, it's a free that's been given because he threw the ball away. Well, what could have been a line ball is now upgraded to a free. Donald Coughlin ran out of road pretty quickly and threw the ball away.
Yeah, again, look, we saw Jack Ryan just slipping over there a while ago as well, and it's the days Doon are just not at it for whatever reason mentally today, and I think Doon's management will be very disappointed there that they're not just looping back around and playing the ball with taking them on, going right down into the trap. I suppose Ballybrown are setting, and it results in a free here for Aidan O'Connor.
Yeah, in terms of the Doon, I suppose, style of play, when it comes off to perfection, it looks very good with that short running game. But when it doesn't, it can look like what we've seen there in the last few minutes. Guys getting turned over, guys running out of play. You know, it doesn't look as flamboyant as it maybe should. But we'll give a bit of hush now for Aidan O'Connor from his own half. Strikes it through, just turning.
Yeah, the breeze just took that. But as you say, a running game does look beautiful, but it's the day you're just that little bit, psychology is just a little bit off, kind of missing frees and running out of ideas. It doesn't look as good. And again, look, the Doon are by far not out of this game at all at the moment, but just everything's going Ballybrown's way at the moment.
Tommy Hayes escapes the challenge of Ross Griffin, does very well indeed, pops it in front of Garrett Thomas, and he is a runner, which is Eddie Stokes. Lovely play by Doon. Here's Chris Thomas bundling through the middle. Thomas flicks it out the back to Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan, can he gather it? He does. Pat Ryan, where's he gone with it? Pat Ryan into the back of the net, and Doon finally get that play working, and we're back to a 2-point game. Pat Ryan with a neat finish, brilliant passing. As we said, that when the passing works, it works.
Yeah, but it's like you watch your Kerrys, your New Zealands, any of these great teams, and Doon just done it there. It was the first time they'd nearly done it all game where every ball stuck to hand. The man, they caught it and tried, and then Ballybrown very hard to defend. And again, they done very well to work the ball into Pat Ryan. And look, he had the composure to put it down low into the net, and again, it brings him right back into the game.
Yeah, Ballybrown get the break off the puck out. They work it inside. Here's Killian Gavin. Gavin under serious pressure. 3 red jerseys there for company. And they're all searching for it. Adam English, though, somehow comes out with it. They're looking to work it out to the space. Here's Cian O'Donovan. Though dander up now after that green flag. Cian O'Donovan under pressure, though, from Bobby Smith. And O'Donovan's effort tailing off to the right and wide as Ballybrown angle the puck out towards Mikey Gavin. Has to let it bounce to come in. Met by Darragh O'Donovan. Ballybrown through Lee Doolan. He's been very good this evening. Slips, though, as I say that, as key punches there. Doon have turned them over. They're looking to run it through the middle again. Here's Donald Coughlin. There's a bit of a 2-on-1 inside. Coughlin just took his eye off it for a second. The 2 Coughlins are there. There's Colin, and now James arrived. 3 Coughlins there. And Colin tidies it up, sends it up the field. Richie English breaks it down for himself and collides with one of his coaches. And it's helter-skelter stuff now, Jim Bob.
Yeah, look, if Donald Coughlin didn't just fumble that ball there, I think it would have been another goal opportunity.
He's probably thinking about his next move, wasn't he?
The whole thing opened up, yeah, and Colin Coughlin done really well, and his brother came in as well. Colin done well to clear it up, and again, just Rich English there when things are going to be just he'll be disappointed. He done everything right, got out in front of the man, just bobbled the ball out of our sideline. So, but look, Doon are definitely after turning the screw a small bit here. They're after kind of upping the intensity a small bit, and the ball's sticking to the hand a bit. So they are looking that bit more dangerous. And again, it's only a 2-point game, and coming up to the last 6-7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, just slightly off camera. Rich English getting a bit of treatment. I hope it's just cramped for him. He kind of bundled his way over the line. There's a sub coming, I'd say. Richie could be the man who's going to make way. Yeah, he's helmeted off. So Richie English looks to be out of the remainder of this contest. Who has come in is the number 18. That is Cormac Ryan. And a free coming now for Doon as Darragh O'Donovan wins his free. Lee Doolan, I think, fouling him, and a chance so for the number 10 to trot out for it, or trot up to it, is Garrett Thomas, and suddenly we could be back to a 1-point game.
Yeah, it's just even at the pressure moment, you just assume maybe Adam English might take over the responsibility again. But look, Garrett Thomas has been taking him well. His last one was more difficult than this one. Again, great free one there from Darragh O'Donovan, I suppose, showing that leadership. He's been involved in the play in the last 10 minutes as well. But yeah, tough free here for Garrett Thomas. We see him just about to raise the ball.
So Thomas on that 65, but a little bit further with given the angle. Thomas hits it through, and I think he has not brought it in enough, and that's 10 wides in this second half now for Doon. 17 wides apiece, James. So
yeah, and I suppose in the last 5 minutes we haven't looked down Darragh Stablin's side of the field now in a long time, so it's important that Ballybrown try and win this, which they have done.
That's for sure they have. Now Killian Gavin bursting through the middle. Ross Kenny for company. Ross Kenny in space. Will he take his score from here? Ross Kenny looks to the top back of the net. Ross Kenny sends it in and finds the green flag for Ballybrown. Brilliant response. You wanted to see the ball down at Darragh Stapleton, and there's your answer. Brilliant score. Lovely take by Killian Gavin, and worked it neatly for the finish.
And I suppose these elite coaches that tell you he made the wrong decision there. It was probably a better percentage to put the ball over the bar, but as we see,
will we have another goal now at the other end? There's a free incoming as Coughlin does hit it to net, but the whistle are well gone, and back to 5 points.
But again, Ross Kinney, he's obviously got unbelievable hurling. We saw there by the way he finished that top corner, but he's a tremendous athlete, great power and pace, and a great talent. He's after a great game, 1-2 there.
Yeah, we were discussing his father, I suppose, off air at half time here. Terence, I'm sure he's over on that far side of the great Kenny clan in Ballybrown, synonymous with hurling in Ballybrown for I think many decades now.
Darragh O'Donovan's over this, so I think we're obviously looking at a goal opportunity here.
Yeah, we're inside the last 4 minutes, so Darragh O'Donovan looking to angle it through. O'Donovan sends it in, bounces it into the net, and an immediate response brings us back to a 2-point game, I should say.
Yeah, and I just see Keane Hedeman's body language after. He's a bit slow again. I think he was very disappointed he didn't stop it. It's just one of them ones. But again, Darragh O'Donovan done the right thing, hit it low. They're the hardest ones to stop. And again, even though we had a bit of rain today, it probably made it harder, but the ball could bobble anyway. Yeah,
looking into that sun as well. But O'Donovan did well to finish it. Second week in a row, Ballybrown have conceded from a 20-metre free, but picked up as no hurley. That's the assist of the day, no hurley, and the ball is fired over the bar by Donald Coughlin. And again, Doon, like good champions, fight back. Nice little pass by Chris Thomas, and a quick point to go with that goal.
Yeah, I'm actually, I've never actually seen that before, so I don't even know.
It's like a football pick-up.
I thought it was the very same as a football pick-up. Now I do think the ball actually bounced, so maybe it wasn't a free, but it obviously
helped it into his hand.
But look, Mike Sexton felt it wasn't a free, so well done, Chris Thomas, a great score.
Aidan O'Connor breaks onto it. He's in space. Aidan O'Connor going to answer that score. Has he brought it in enough? He has, just inside that post. And Aidan O'Connor answers it at the other end. 2 points, as I say, dangerous lead, but nevertheless a very important score for Ballybrown.
Yeah, an unbelievable first touch out of Aidan O'Connor. Number one, the reading of the play to be at the break, and number two, the speed in which he got that ball into his hand.
Big tussle inside. Donald Coughlin breaking on it. Could he put Doon ahead here with a goal? There's a free coming if he can't get his shot off. He can't. And I wonder, given we have just under 2 minutes to go, to Doon just take the point here, or would Darrell Donovan fancy another one?
It's just, well, we see Gareth Thomas getting the ball there, Donald's out, but it's just at an angle which makes it that bit harder again. But again, we were complimenting Ballybrown's full back line for the whole second half. They're just looking a little bit nervy there. Donald Coughlin's winning a couple of breaks there. Every high ball that's gone in, Doon are winning it.
Finishing line is inside.
Finishing line's inside, just getting a bit nervy there. So look, it results in Gareth Thomas, which you'd imagine just tip it over. Again, I think being 5 points down and only being 2 here is the big difference between whether you go for a goal or not either.
That's for sure. Thomas easily enough strikes it over. So Doon move on to 3 goals and 15 now, so back to a single point. Ballybrown looking crucially to win this pucker. We probably won't have an awful lot of stoppage time, not too many disruptions in the second half, as there's 60 seconds of play to go. Ross Griffin, I should say, there for Ballybrown. Luke O'Connor as well. Pat Ryan is there for Doon. So too Eddie Stokes, who wants to put their hand on this ball. Barry Murphy does. Barry Murphy coming out with it. Murphy ends up on the surface. Ballybrown looking for a throw. Doon looking for a pullback. All the time the clock ticking ever closer towards that 60. We will not know exactly what's left. Eddie Stokes rampaging onto it. Luke O'Connor for company. Stokes in a bit of isolation now. And Eddie Stokes, has he levelled it? I think he might just have. He has indeed. Great score from Eddie Stokes. Brilliant stuff from Doon. Shrugged off his man and picked the score.
Yeah, again, that's just Ballybrown just struggling. We complimented them the whole game, nearly for 54 minutes of this game. They were nearly on top in terms of winning primary possession and things like that. I think they're just bringing on that sub just to slow down the play. Their last puck out is something similar to this one Keane Hedderman's looking at. They're nearly overloading one side of the pitch, so if they do win it, they have possession of the ball obviously, and if they don't win it, it's very hard for Doon to walk the ball out. But Eddie Stokes just got on a break there, ran out, and again, if you do get out of that their huddle, there is space, and Eddie Stokes done well there to bring that game back into a draw.
Yeah, bizarrely a draw will all but put both these sides through. As a chance now for Doon to forge ahead, and they've won the free from the puck out, ball taken out of the sky, and the foul coming. So who's going to have a go at this? Adam English. Well, come at the hour, come at the man.
Yeah, and again, it's as we said about the breeze. If he keeps over left, it should drift in. But again, great leadership showed there by Barry Murphy. Probably hasn't been in the game as much as he'd like, but done very well to get up over Aidan O'Connor there and win the ball. So to put them ahead, they've trailed for all of the second half. Adam English from his own half, one though is going to go to the right and wide, and an 18th wide. They lead on that count, but they don't lead on the scoreboard. We have played a minute. I'm sure we'll probably have slightly longer left to run in this one. Keane Hedderman again looking for that right hand channel. Again, Aidan O'Connor is one of the targets, but again it's a red jersey of Doon coming up with it. Ball spilling on the surface there. Barry Adams there for Ballybrown. So too Aidan O'Connor and Ross Griffin. Who's coming up with it? Ross Griffin loses possession. Darragh Donovan coming through the minefield of bodies, met with a couple of challenges. Plenty of time here. Darragh O'Donovan from the middle of the field. What's he done with it? O'Donovan, has he turned it in? He has! Darragh O'Donovan somehow got his shot away. What a score! And could that be the winning score here, James? Brilliant stuff. Yeah, look, I have to give great credit to Ballybrown. 4-5. That's exactly what you said, chasing in packs. But that was pure instinct more than anything else. Darragh Donovan just snatched that ball. Unbelievable strike, great score.
Barry Adams pulls it out of the sky. I wonder could he have taken on his man there. Ballybrown looking for the line ball. The line ball is coming. And I would say we're very much now at the mercy of Mike Sexton, the referee. I can't imagine we're going to have more than 2 minutes added on in this one.
Yeah, it's at the 65 as well, probably a bit far out for Aidan O'Connor, because this was at the side where he got the sideline cut, but I'd say it was more 45. So see it being taken.
Probably one of the games of the season so far there. There's plenty of tussling going on there. Ballybrown looking for a free. Doon don't want to give it up. Dara O'Donovan gets on it. O'Donovan bursting out with it. O'Donovan, what's he done with it? He's thrown the ball away. The free coming for Ballybrown. Well, makes sense of that one.
It's have to be moved in now as well.
And
for the scent.
And I have a feeling this might just be the final act of the game. A chance for Ballybrown to level it.
Yeah, Dara Donovan is obviously threw the ball. He felt things after being fouled. So look, Terence Kinney's down getting. I think it's all happening here, to be honest.
It is, bodies everywhere.
It's going to result in Aidan O'Connor having a free right where Mike Sexton's standing, which is on the 45, in line with, I suppose, the back post of the net that the back net of the goal. So you'd imagine Aidan O'Connor put this over, as you say, and time will be up.
He's going to have to wait there because the sideline official here has called over Mike Sexton. I think there was a few words exchanged between himself and Dara O'Donovan, so let's see what comes of it. The ball already brought forward. He's going to his book here. I think Dara O'Donovan is going to get a yellow card for his protest here. Yellow card, so for his I suppose anger towards the officials. Chance for O'Connor with the free. And I wonder what time we'll have left after this. This could be the last puck of the game. O'Connor going through his routine to level it. O'Connor, it's hit the post. It's come off the post. Well, didn't hit it as high as he would have liked. Has it? Ballybrown looking to win one last ball. Doon cleared their lines. We play on well off the outside of the post. Ball breaks down. Adam English beneath it. Ballybrown will want one more opportunity. There is the full-time whistle, and Doon are into the knockout stages of the Whitebox Properties Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. Well, what about that for drama, James? Off the outside of the post.
Yeah, I just felt that he kind of slightly didn't hit it as well. You could hear the kind of connection wasn't as crisp as most of his shots were there, and his frees were as well. But just off the post, terribly unlucky out of Ballybrown. But again, look, I suppose Doon showed why they're county champions. I don't know where they pulled that victory out of. You're going by the body language of the Ballybrown lads there. Even they feel like it was a chance maybe missed big time. But Doon got out of jail. But Ballybrown, look, apart from not getting the points on the board, apart from not getting the win, I think they'll take some positives out of the game, but they'll be very disappointed to lost the game, especially the nature they lost.
Yeah, what about the comeback from Doon? In fairness to them, twice I think they were 5 or 6 points down there in that second half. And like any good champion, any good team, they just kept coming and they got their reward in the end.
Yeah, I think the biggest moment was actually when you were saying in commentary, and we were both agreeing the running game can look terrible when it's not being pulled off, and then they put that bit of injection into it. The ball stuck. They ran off the shoulder at pace, and they created a great goal opportunity. And obviously the goal didn't kind of kick-started them. They were all day nearly kind of getting going. I think they'll be very disappointed with the way they played. They were very lethargic. I think Ballybrown won way more primary possession, but look, in the last 10 minutes Doon kind of just kicked on a gear. They hit in a couple of high balls, the ball broke away, and I think they'll be very, very happy to come out here with a win. I think they'll grab it and go, and they know they kind of underperformed. And look, it's a funny game. The team that won are kind of nearly disappointed as well. Nearly
relieved, I think, more than anything. Yeah. This game, of course, is brought to you in association with ATG Properties Limited in Enfield, and of course we also have our Mike O'Connell Menswear Man of the Match. James, plenty of candidates for this one, but who are you leaning with here this evening?
Yeah, look, I think Lee Doolan there for Ballybrown had a right good game. I think if Ballybrown pushed on the whole lot, but the thing I'd say, even though he's the county player and the whole lot, and the people are saying county player, I think Dara Donovan, just on his leadership, even look at the fact that he had the courage to stand over that 21-yard free and get it, but his last score of the game, I just think the big moments fell Dara Donovan's way. I know he nearly caused the game to be a draw with the last moment, but I just think the big moments Dara Donovan was seeing, I think his tackle count, his possessions, his decision making, his scoring there near the end of the game, I think he was one of the main reasons why Doon just came out of here by the skin of their teeth with a victory. So today's man of the match, in my view, was Dara Donovan. But again, as you said, a couple of worthy opponents on both teams for the accolade, but I'm giving it to Dara Donovan. Yeah,
well, congratulations to Dara Donovan, the Mike O'Connell Menswear Man of the Match. We'll try and catch a word from the winning camp shortly. Do stay with us. We'll have the highlights for you shortly, and we will be back very, very soon. Plenty of time here. Dara O'Donovan from the middle of the field. What's he done with it? O'Donovan, has he turned it in? He has! Darragh O'Donovan somehow got his shot away. What a... So O'Connor from the sideline, straight and true, and brilliant trajectory on that. He's opened the scoring. Murphy, plenty of red attention, gives it to Ross Kenny, and Kenny on the 65 coming away from goals. Ross Kenny straight over the bar. Ballybrown, Killian Gavin there. Oh, ball switched across. There's a bit of space now for Chris Thomas, and Thomas has to go at the post, and Doon work the space, get the shot away.
It's the same way there, but again this game has come down to decision making, as we see. Aidan O'Connor.
Aidan O'Connor from the sideline, has he got it? He has indeed. Raced onto the puck out. Ball.
And this game, as much as anything, has come down to decision making on the ball, trying to get the right men on the ball.
Kevin Maher looking to reply at the other end. Simple old game at times, long puck out. Back looking for the ball. It's calls of Simon, of course, Pat Ryan Simon being the kind of nickname there in the family, as Pat Ryan from the sideline. Has he got it? He has indeed. And we're level.
Another free, so they have to keep their discipline if they want to stay in the game.
That's for sure. As English knocks it straight, knocks it over.
Leave them two calibre players free and not put a player on it.
Serious stick men, the two of them, as Aidan O'Connor decides to knock it over the bar. So silence around Kilmallock as O'Connor goes through with a lovely follow through every time he hits that ball, and put the brakes on Griffin. A very tricky angle, decides to recycle it to Aidan O'Connor. That's a wise move, and O'Connor coming away from him is going to send it over the bar, and 3 in a row.
Aidan O'Connor, as you said, getting the right man on the ball, and Aidan O'Connor's filling with confidence there. His body language even tell you a great score from play.
Ballybrown don't win the puck out. Darragh O'Donovan raging through the middle. What's he going to do from here? Flicks it across to Donald Coughlin. Coughlin looking for the goal. Coughlin finishes it. Looks for Donald Coughlin. I'm sure he'll be buoyed by that goal, and he is, to pull one out of the sky, and immediately gets the shot off. Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, we're seeing it. Get it just inside the 2-point arc from football, so it'll only be worth the one here this evening anyway, as we know, and he's easy, as he knew it was off target. Ballybrown go long with the puck out. Lee Doolan is on it, gets the low kind of drop shot away. Has he kept it straight? He has, and Lee Doolan applied, so it is a free, as is deemed by Mike Sexton. So Adam English knocks it over, puts him back in front. Now Hurley, what are his options from here? Kenny inside that 40 metre line. Kenny with the dummy, and decides to flick it over the bar. He ends up on with the jink and the feint, and it comes back to Chris Thomas. Thomas, another man who feints his way out of trouble, and Thomas from the sideline. The Doon supporters over there like it.
I'll be very happy at how hard Doon had to work for that score. How many times we've seen Parran get the ball, turn, take on the man and straight over the bar, and to do 2 or 3 passes, but a great finish by Chris Thomas.
Free coming here for Ross Griffin, through the middle. Ross looking for Barry Adams. Adams, can he bury it? He can! You're very welcome back to Kilmallock, where we are delighted to say we're joined by the Mike O'Connell Menswear Man of the Match. Darragh, I'll just give you your voucher for O'Connell Menswear, so well done. And I suppose a testing performance here against Ballybrown. You had to dig it out. You were 5 down once, you were 5 down again after the second goal, but you managed to come up with the goods there, and a winning score from the middle field. But a titanic battle between the two sides.
Yeah, I suppose the better team lost the game anyway, Tom. Definitely. Ballybrown were by far the superior team on the night. I think there was a statistic at half time in our dressing room that they had 27 shots in the first half, which is criminal from our perspective, but then you have to give credit to Ballybrown that they were able to get the shots off. They worked the ball very well. They were the hungrier of the two sides, and look, we got out on the lucky side of it there tonight. I suppose it's probably a testament to where we are as a group in terms of, you know, that resilience that we've probably built up. I suppose I would have played in Doon teams over the years where we would have been beaten in these positions. Same again last week against Kilmallock, you know, where we dug it out. But, you know, our performances are going to have to improve if we want to be at the end of this championship in the semi-final or the final stages. Yeah, you're 4 games in now. That's 2 wins and 2 draws. What it means as well is, of course, is that you've booked yourselves into the knockout stages. Obviously, there's a possibility then that you can go direct. But I suppose getting here tonight, getting a result was important. But I think you're probably hoping now, as you kind of touched on there, that the performance will have to start lifting as well, especially from the first whistle, because, as you rightly say, Ballybrown probably dictated a lot of the proceedings there. Oh, absolutely. They got in the more tackles, they got in the ball more. Their puck outs were excellent. You know, they won primary possession and most puck outs. You know, you look at their 2 senior men there, and Aidan O'Connor and Colin Coughlin. They're probably the 2 dominant forces in the game. You know, and we never got to grips with either of those 2 players throughout the game, and we'll have a lot of reflecting to do during the week We had it last week, we've had it a couple of weeks ago as well, so a lot of work to be done in the field and doing over the next number of weeks. If we're to get better performances at the knockout stages in this championship.
Yeah, you're getting a break obviously now as well. I suppose how do you approach that game against the Han? I know you played them last year, and they were the only team to beat you last year in the final round. It's funny how it turns out you're playing them again, but there's definitely more of a carrot this year because a direct route is still not secured and still on the table coming into the final round.
And going back to that game last year, we went into that game, with all intentions of performing and winning, and we took the foot off the gas. And Derek referenced during the week, we're a very average team. We don't work hard, and you see that again there tonight. And it was the same last year in Capmore against the Han. And I'd like to get back to play them again in 2 weeks' time and say that we can put in a better performance than we put in last year. Han are a great club, they're probably the biggest and best club in traditional history in Limerick, so we'll pay them all the respect that they deserve. And we're going to train. We have said that there's a block of we're not taking no break. It's a block of 2 hard weeks now into this next game, and try and get that semi-final. We saw what it done for us last year going that direct route, but performances
easier said than done.
Yeah. Look, come here. Look, a lot of us, myself included, we're just not playing it where we should be. We're not playing at the adequate level for winning senior championships.
I suppose talk to me as well about playing in this group, and I know you're maybe saying you're not playing as well as you like, but there must be some great enjoyment to be playing against, as you mentioned, the likes of a Han, Patrick Swell, the great history. We've seen what Napier have done. You're mixing it every week, every round in this game against some of the best clubs around Limerick. It's frantic, it's frenetic, but it must be very enjoyable at the same time.
It's fierce enjoyable. Club hurling, I absolutely love it. I love going down to the field and down to the gym, whatever the case may be. It's just great crack. Going out playing against lads that you're competing with all the way up under age, playing inter-county with them, and the Limerick Club Championship is as competitive as you're going to get. The physicality, every game is tight. You see the amount of draws there's been, or 1 point games. It's a real titanic kind of physical championship, and whoever's going to come out of the other group as well, you can see there that's very competitive also. So Limerick hurling at senior level is in a really, really good place, and whatever team comes out of this championship will have a lot to say further down the line too, I think.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Dardy. Michael O'Connell, Menswear man of the match. I was going to say enjoy the couple of weeks off, but it sounds like it's going to be helter-skelter training. But
absolutely, we need it.
Okay, well, Tom Clancy signing off here in Kilmallock. Do a reminder, tomorrow we will have Kilmallock versus Napier in the final of our 4 stream games this weekend. Slán go fóill. Nice, appreciate that, guys.
Grace Park, Dublin Road, Enfield, County Meath. Coming soon. An exclusive development of large 2 and 3 bedroom family homes. Register at www.graceparkenfield.ie. Developer ATG Properties, Enfield Limited.
O'Sullivan Centre Clarina, your one-stop shop. From Roosters Peri Peri to Caramico Pizza, Centre Clarina satisfies every craving. Pamper your pooch at our wash and wag station, or grab a coffee at the Creamery Cafe and relax in our seating area. Experience it all at Centre Clarina.